Why hello there, welcome back to Let's Play TPP. This is your host, you know who this is by now, and we've touched down in City 2. Or rather, the second gym. God, this is just going brilliantly already, is it? So, what we see here is the broken decks, considering that I apparently have caught nothing. And we have a couple of objectives in this area, and they are unchanged from the previous game, Emerald. Yeah, exactly. So we just saw new things, and I'm still using that method of editing for that. However, from this point onwards, if I don't see anything new in a while, I'll just skip past the battle altogether and cut it out. Which is going to be moderately important considering what we have to go through next. But as I said before, my train of thought was annihilated. We have two objectives. One is to deliver a letter to whoever is replacing Stephen in this game, and the other is to beat up the second gym leader. Now, technically, considering the game hints that you need to use Flash to be able to navigate this cave, and in order to use Flash you need to beat up the second gym leader. Grazing. Huh. But if the layout is exactly the same in comparison to Emerald, so if you remember the route to get over from one end to the other, which honestly is not that hard to remember at all, then you can get from the start to the end without any need for using Flash whatsoever. We're still seeing a few new things, but within a couple of videos we'll have a gigantic pause of nothing new to talk about, which will enable me to mention a few things that I've been attempting to want to cover since 4 videos ago, I think. One of the key nuisances of this area is that if you just bind yourself to this cave for training for the second gym, and the average level of the guys that you'll be facing to be able to acquire levels is much lower than what would be considered ideal, which essentially causes your training time to artificially inflate to ridiculous levels. See, that wasn't so hard to navigate now, was it? All the interruptions aren't helping though. Oh, so that's who you are. Paddy. Knifed. Steel wings? Okay, I'm confused. I'm pretty sure there's no S at the end of that thing. Yeah, because you just want a stranger's phone number. So, now we've delivered that, we can actually go and do a dastardly little trick that'll help us in preparation for the next gym, as we can completely skip this island altogether. This will enable us to access a bunch of trainers in the next area that we can use to acquire levels. Carpers. Huh. That place. I need to take note of that. So there's a bunch of guys here, and this person is making mentioning to Komachi. We'll actually see one at the end of the video, so I'll mention it there and then. But yes, there's going to be a bunch of these matches where essentially I'm not facing anything new at all. We find something new here though, and honestly my knowledge of all the characters is moderately low, I would say. I know like the key characters, but for the most part a bunch of the obscure ones like stage 1 and 2 bosses from anything after 9 doesn't really ring much of a bell. That's another one down. I guess I'll just mention briefly and quickly, hopefully, how the recording process of this whole thing works, given that I have about a minute. In that, I will typically using Fraps and a special version of the VBA emulator known as VBA-M, which I've only just heard of recently, to acquire about 2 or 3 hours of footage maybe, and recording it via Fraps using low resolutions and 60 frames per second, considering it is a GBA game. And I will attempt to commentate over that after 2 days of recording it all, to then process it before I can continue playing, because my hard drive isn't exactly what you'd call the largest, or at least in modern times anyway. 360 gigabytes was pretty big when I got it, but nowadays it's just lacking. And from what I hear, 1 terabyte is like the standard. Technology does catch on quite quickly. In any case, this is the last battle of the video, thank God for that, and it's 2 new ones. Take note of this, as this is going to be coming back to attack us next video. Or not. It's not what I would call the most durable thing to... I should phrase that as it's not capable of taking its primary weakness very well at all. Take note of the other one as well, as I am considering acquiring one when I get the opportunity. You will see that when Naked Man Convention. The comment I read on part 3, I think it was, about them actually being a resprite of one of the default swimmers. I didn't notice that. So, this is where I'll be parking for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Oh, and this has been Slow, by the way.